Hello viewers, hope you're doing well. Today in this video, I'm going to create vote entity, DTO and the repository in Spring Boot application. So let's get started. First, let me open here poll entity. So inside this, I'm going to add here one more property with a name is expired. That is a type of a boolean and it's by default false. With this, let me open here poll DTO. Inside this class, let me add here a few more parameters with the name is expired. That is a type of a boolean, user ID, type of long, username, type of string, options DTO, that is a type of list of options DTO. At the last, we have a voted, that is a type of a boolean. Inside the entities, let me create a new Java class with the name vote. On the top of this class, let me add here the annotation that we have at the rate entity. Second, we have at the rate data. Inside this class, I'm going to add here a parameters where first we have the primary key ID, that is a type of long. On the top of this parameter, we have the annotation at the rate ID and the generated value where we have a strategy generation type dot identity. Second parameter or field that we have posted date, that is the type of a date. Third parameter that we have a relation with the user, like one user has many votes. Second annotation that we have at the rate join column where we have a column name user underscore ID. Second last field that we have options, like one option has many votes. At the last we have a field with the name poll, like one poll has many votes. Second annotation that we have at the rate join column where we have a column name poll underscore ID. Now you can take a look of a vote entity. After a vote entity, I'm going to create a new Java class with the name vote DTO inside the DTOs package. So on the top of this class, let me add here the annotation that we have at the rate data. Now inside this class, I'm going to add here the parameters for vote DTO. So the parameters are ID, type of long, option ID, type of long, poll ID, type of long, posted by, type of long. After creating a vote DTO, let me open here vote entity. Inside this class, let me create here a public function with the name get vote DTO. So the return type that we have vote DTO, name of function that we have get vote DTO. Inside this function, let me create here an object of vote DTO. After creating an object, we have to set here ID posted by, option ID and the poll ID, and we have to get these from the vote class. At the last, we have to return here vote DTO. After this, I'm going to create a new interface with the name VoteRepository inside the repositories package. On the top of this, let me add here the annotation that we have at the rate repository to make this interface as a repository in Spring Boot application. So we have to extend this repository with JPA repository to override some built-in functions like find all, find by ID, delete by ID. Inside the argument of this, we have to pass here vote entity and the data type of a primary key that we have long. Inside this interface, I'm going to define here a queries. First we have a query exist by poll ID and user ID. That is a type of a boolean. Inside the argument of this query, we have to pass here poll ID and the user ID. That we have a type of a long. Second query I'm going to define here exist by poll ID and user ID and options ID. That is a type of a boolean. Inside the argument of this, we have to pass here poll ID, user ID and the option ID. After creating a vote repository, let me open here options entity. So inside this class, I'm going to create here a relation with vote list, like one option has many votes. We have to map this with options and cascade type all. After updating an options entity, let me open here options DTO. So here inside this class, I'm going to add here a few more parameters. Where first we have user voted this option, that is a type of a boolean. Second we have vote DTOs, that is a type of list of vote DTO. So that's all from my side. Thanks for watching.